Really just like any week. We've got 3 days in a row, so we're still continuing to build fitness. Very, very pleased with that. We did a test last Friday, as you know, and every single player was better than the last time we did it, so that's a good thing. We're making progress, and the guys look really hungry. Today was one of our best days in the entire preseason. So we'll build them up a little bit these 3 days, push them pretty hard. Probably the hardest 3 days, that they've had. And then we'll gear up with the 2-day lead-in that we typically follow tactically, prepare them for the match against Vancouver in the last 2 days.
How excited are you to get back out in the Providence Park?
Yeah, obviously I'll be more excited in the March 7th game when points count. You can get too excited when points don't count. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to be 0-0 in terms of our record, no matter what happens in these games. But it'll be good to kind of have a dry run, where it's not exactly like March 7th in terms of the crowd, but there'll be enough of a crowd where you have that stimulus and definitely be a buzz. And in terms of fitness, we'll be playing 90 minutes, a good majority of the guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing. And it'll be a good test as well. Vancouver's a very good team, and they were a playoff team last year. We had their number a little bit at the end of the year, so I'm sure they're going to want to turn that in terms of putting a marker down, even though it doesn't count. So I think it'll be a battle and a great measuring stick going into the last game or last couple games before we're ready to go.
How are you going to approach this in terms of lineups? Is there going to be a different lineup from the Wednesday game?
We'll do most likely. We'll do one group will play Vancouver, and then we'll do a separate group, different group that plays against Chicago, and then we'll go back to a group playing in that final game. There might be a few guys that rotate from the first game to the third game, but for the most part, in terms of managing the loads, we want to get everybody that's going to be a key guy 90 minutes in at least one of those or two of those 3 games, so that they're ready for selection March 7th. In theory, we could pick anybody for March 7th because they played a 90-minute game.
How excited are you to have T2 starting up, and what will you stay out here and watch them?
Very excited. It's a big piece of this club, and having like I've said, a vertically integrated club top to bottom. Jay and I have been really daily discussing things, roster, guys with us, guys that are going to be with them perhaps. Actually, Belmar and Valesky will move over to him starting tomorrow. There'll be a few other guys that once the season starts that will go on short-term or long-term loans. So we'll be meeting every day. They'll be training directly after us, and there'll be some up and down in terms of training. Certainly in the games, we'll see some guys that aren't getting minutes for us get minutes for him. But really excited. I know he is as well, because he's been with us for 3.5 weeks and chomping at the bit to get on the field. So he has his first session today. We've got a lot of new guys guys on trial, guys that have been signed that'll be announced later. It's exciting.
Will you, with Valeri and Will, is that potential that they would go play games with them before they came back to the big club?
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, again, that gives us the opportunity if we want to get a guy, even a key guy that's coming off the bench for us. Maybe if we want to get, a third forward or second forward that's not starting, or second winger, or third center back, we can get him a 90-minute game, and I think that's something we will do from time to time. With the senior players, we won't do that a lot, but to keep them ticking over and keeping them ready. We will do that from time to time, but for the most part, it's going to be a separate group, and it's going to be younger guys. But yeah, I mean, when Will gets back and healthy, it makes sense for us to maybe allow him to play in that type of game before he suits up for the first team, because even though the results matter for T2, it's more about making sure guys are prepared and ready eventually to play for first team. So maybe Will can play a game and feel it out a little bit and not be full throttle. So it gives us that freedom and flexibility to do that with certain guys.
obviously it worked out with sending Roddy on loan last year before he came back to the team. But how nice is it to be able to completely control maybe Will or Valeri's last step of rehab with T2?
Yeah, that's crucial. We know we've got a coach that's cooperating with us, a coach that sees the game the same way, is going to train in a similar way, going to play a similar system, and really or gets the partnership and relationship in helping prepare players for us. So we're not going to dictate to him, but we'll discuss, and ultimately he knows if we have guys that we need to get minutes, that that's going to be a part of his responsibility to make sure that the guys are getting prepared. So it's really a positive for our club.
As we get closer and closer to the season and there's still no deal, I mean, how worried are you about the season starting on time?
I'm really not going to comment on that. I'm just focused on the job I have to do, and you know, going to prepare like we're going to play on March 7th. And I'm not going to think twice about it. I'm aware, obviously, that's coming up. The rubber's about to meet the road. But at the same time, I'm just focused on the job that I have to do. And, if we have to adjust, we'll adjust. But I'm going to approach it just like we're going to have a game on March 7th.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, everyone.